Okay, so last problem. Again, u dv. We need to calculate v and du. So again, we pick u to be an easy one, so I'm going to pick that as e to the x. So du is e to the x dx. dv is sine of x. So v is the integral, negative cosine of x, right? So u v minus the integral of v du. So remember, e to the x sine of x dx, the integral of that is going to be equal to uv minus the integral of v du. So u v minus the integral of v du, right? Which is negative e to the x cosine of x plus cosine of x integral of cosine of x e to the x dx. Notice again, we have two expressions, right? So I'm going to do uv minus v du here again. Okay. So u I'm going to pick as e to the x. Du then is e to the x dx. dv I'm going to pick cosine of x dx, so v is sine of x. So let me do this. So the first part that we did was in blue. And then the integral of cosine of x e to the x dv dx, I do uv minus the integral of v du. Okay. All right, now hopefully you notice we go back to the original problem, right? That integral of sine x times e to the x dx right here on the right, that goes back to the same exact problem here. So take a look at how we work this part out. Now, remember when I said the integral of e to the x sine of x dx is equal to that. And we just kept working that out, right? So this eventually became this, which eventually became this, which eventually became that. Okay. So that means this expression here is equal to the integral of e to the x sine of x dx. Okay. So I can do some algebra now where I can move this over to the other side. So if I add the integral of sine of x e to the x dx to the other side, then I end up with two of these integrals, right? And that's equal to, I'm just going to rewrite this as e to the x sine of x minus e to the x cosine of x. I just changed the order there. Okay? But that's not what I want. I want the original question, the integral of e to the x sine of x. So I could divide everything by 2. So I have 1/2. And there's your answer. Okay? Very interesting problem for this one, right? We did uv minus v du. We ended up repeating. And so we had to set it equal to the original problem and do some algebra to move stuff around. Okay? And that was because we ended up back here. We ended up with the original problem again. Okay, so that's going to be key. All right, let me know if you have any questions.